Psychoanalysis is the area of study that analyzes human behavior based on actions. Psychoanalysis offers explanations in regards to inner motives for those actions, along with remedies for those internal issues. Those internal issues are categorized as festering in the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind is a term that Freud, the creator of psychoanalysis, coined to describe the part of the mind where repressed feelings are kept. These feelings have to then be recognized and remedied, often through talk therapy. Talk therapy is a process whereby the patient speaks about their experiences and feelings to a professional psychologist. The psychologist aims to understand and recognize the repressed feelings in their unconscious mind. They also recognize defense mechanisms that the patient may be using in order to avoid acknowledging their issues. The psychologist then helps the patient develop healthy coping mechanisms for their issues to understand and come to terms with them. The Big Lebowski is a crime comedy produced in 1998, directed by Ethan and Joel Coen. The film is loosely inspired by the work of Raymond Chandler. At the U.S. box office, The Big Lebowski was a disappointment and it received mixed reviews. However, as time went on, it became more and more popular and the fan base grew immensely. In fact, this movie has even served as the foundational scripture for a religion called Dudism. Dudism is a philosophy of going with the flow, which the main character, Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski, embodies. The dude is mistaken for a millionaire with the same name by two thugs who urinate on his carpet in order to try and get him to pay a debt owed by the other Jeffrey Lebowski. The dude asks the other Jeffrey Lebowski to compensate him for the ruined rug, which he does not do. However, he does offer him a one-time job with high payoff to track down his missing wife, Bunny. The dude has a group of close friends that he regularly bowls with. One of his close friends helps him track down Bunny, the other Jeffrey Lebowski's wife. The dude begins a crazy adventure where he meets a range of people who all want something from him. In the end, the dude discovers that the kidnapping was all a ruse by Jeffrey Lebowski in order to get the money because he isn't actually a millionaire. The film ends with one of the dude's good friends dying and the dude giving him a funeral and then continuing to bowl. The protagonist of the film, the dude, can be analyzed from a psychoanalytic lens. One could even say that the dude is able to cope with his abundance of issues because of his laid-back persona. One example is how the dude does not suppress his issues into his unconscious mind. Rather, he is aware of all of his issues and faces each of them without getting overwhelmed. His laid-back philosophy towards life is why he is able to do this. The dude operates primarily using his id and ego. He instinctually desires to bowl, get high, and to have his rug replaced. Each one of these wants directly stem from his id and are derived from his pleasure principle. Bowling gives him something to do and relieves his boredom. Getting high allows him to avoid his unpleasant realities. And getting his rug back is his way of creating order in his home and his life because, as he says, that rug really tied the room together. The reality principle is seen in action when the dude needs to balance his id desires with the real-world implications that his ego recognizes. The dude clearly pursues reality principle satisfaction. After his rug is soiled, he quickly seeks the other Lebowski and demands compensation for his rug. The dude does not even consider concerns that would stem from his superego, such as class or wealth. The dude walks into the mansion and feels like the other Lebowski is in debt to him, based on his conscious needs and desires. The other Lebowski says that the dude is looking for a handout, and he calls him a loser and a bum. The dude then lies to the assistant by saying,
"No man told me to take any rug in the house."
The dude has little regard for societal rules or norms. He is a total nonconformist, and this is a key factor in why he is able to not repress his issues. He does not have any experiences he feels deeply upset or ashamed about because he does not care what others think, and he is able to acknowledge and deal with his apparent issues. From a psychosexual standpoint, the dude is fixated in the oral stage. He has a bit of an obsession with eating, drinking, and smoking. For example, the dude is overweight and is almost always seen in the movie smoking or drinking. This could usually be explained through childhood experiences, but in the film, there is no mention of the dude's childhood. However, there are two dream sequences that provide some insight into the dude's subconscious mind. In the first dream sequence, the dude is flying over Los Angeles. The dude finds a bowling ball in his hands, which weighs him down and causes him to fall from the sky. Then he shrinks down to a miniature version of himself, and a bowling ball is rolling towards him, which is bigger than him. Bowling could be a symbol of the subconscious thoughts of the dude. The motion of the ball rolling could represent his life feeling repetitive and meaningless. The weight of the bowling ball could represent the stress he feels about his current situation. Later on in the film, it is clear that the dude displays significant anxiety towards potential castration. The image of the nihilist with scissors in his dream is a sign of this anxiety. There are many other instances where the dude is consciously threatened with castration throughout the film. For one, a hungry ferret is thrown into his bubble bath by the burglars. Another time, he drops a cigarette on himself, which nearly incinerates his pants. Throughout the film, the dude uses various coping mechanisms. The dude's dreams show that he is in a confusing and complicated relationship with Maud Lebowski, the other Lebowski's daughter. He is in denial that he is attracted to her because of her strong-willed and bizarre personality. His relationship with her is another source of anxiety that is expressed in his dream. The dude tends to speak his mind. He speaks openly about his feelings to all individuals he comes into contact with, especially his friends. He is able to vocalize his inner feelings and thoughts. This is his own form of talk therapy. This coping mechanism helps him prevent feelings from becoming repressed in his unconscious mind. Overall, the dude is able to navigate through this tricky situation without experiencing neuroses. He primarily operates with his id and ego, as many of the decisions that he makes on a primal instinct, while also considering if the decision he is making is rational. He often does not consider the moral implications of his decisions. He is an easygoing individual who is not bothered by the opinions of others. This is part of why he is able to make some insensitive decisions that hurt others but benefit him. The dude is a completely unique character who brings tears of laughter to many and can be admired for his relaxed personality that acts as a coping mechanism for him to conquer all of the bizarre challenges that he faces within this film.